Chris Rogers reports on the vigilantes who are taking the law into their own hands and stand accused of murdering children on the streets. The identity of some of the people in Chris's report have been changed for their own protection, and you may find some of the images disturbing.
This is a city where people believe child criminals are being sent to cemeteries instead of cells. The mayor of Davao once declared war on the young gangs who leave their homes to make a living on the streets, but some fall into a cycle of crime. There's now a curfew from dusk till dawn. Most children go home, a few never return. The local charity which helped me with my research for this report are too scared to be identified on camera. They've documented nearly 200 murders on these streets in the last year. 30% of them were children. The victims are alleged drug pushers and petty criminals, stabbed or gunned down. Many believe it's the work of a vigilante group made up of police and contract killers. The locals call them the Davao Death Squad. Every week, Clarita Aliyah visits the graves of her 3 teenage sons and prays that a witness to their murders will come forward. All 3 were stabbed in the space of 18 months. There has never been an investigation into each of their deaths. Clarita believes the Davao Death Squad is responsible. Bobby, Christopher and Richard had been arrested in the past on various petty charges. But with their final arrest came a horrifying threat.
The police told me that if I don't keep my sons under control, they will kill them one by one. 18 months later, I lost my final child. Bobby had already been beaten by the police the night before he was stabbed.
15-year-old Mary told me she's trying to get away from drug trafficking after receiving a warning from the death squad.
I had just got home after delivering some drugs from a local town. In the house there was a man dressed in black, pointing a gun at me. He'd been waiting for me. He didn't shoot. It seemed more like a warning. I know I'm under some kind of surveillance. I still see men like him outside my home, watching me.
When Paul was 15, gunmen pounded his leg with bullets. He says it's a painful reminder that if he doesn't change his ways, the death squad will finish him off. On his weekly TV show, Davao's city mayor, Rodrigo Duterte, shows off his love of bikes and his desire to rid the streets of criminals. He's popular with the city elite, never losing an election. Once on his live TV show, he read out a list of 500 wanted criminals. Many turned themselves in as the death squad began a reign of terror. Local human rights campaigners told us they believe the mayor is linked to the death squads, a charge he denies. Only one campaigner would speak to us on camera.
There are some factors that led us to believe that somehow there must be a connection, because it is during his term that there's been a rise of all these killings, and there have been some cases where he even read the names of this order of battle, and after a few weeks, those whose names he read were already dead.
The Punisher, as he likes to be known, insisted he was too busy to speak to us, but invites anyone with evidence to bring him to court. That's not an option for Clarita Aliyah. Every day she sees her son's killers and they laugh at her. I live in a city controlled by fear, she told me. Chris Rogers, ITV News, Davao.
Chris Rogers reporting there, and since those pictures were filmed, another 3 children have died on the streets of Davao.